is a second quest or mixed overworld with second quest cave distribution. That is going to be a painful number to see. If it's a first quest, that might be okay. And to answer the question in chat, that is correct. Bobino has not checked what Triforce they have yet. Once we see what it is, that will be helpful for us. I'm guessing based on how he routed, he's assuming it's one of the smaller dungeons.
Ellendar now going to head over and check out the ring shop.
And folks, we have a full second quest overworld because this screen is the cave, which happens to have a level, instead of the normal level 3 layout.
Inexpensive bombs on Ellendar's side, but still just a little too pricey.
Money is always a very fickle thing, because you either have all of it or you don't have enough to buy whatever you need to buy. There's few times that I've seen where you have the right amount of money at a given moment.
Well, I did notice that one of the flags it looks to be on is permanent sword beam.
That is always helpful to see. Doesn't matter how much HP the enemies have, permanent sword beam is always a great flag to have on, as it just lets you fire from a distance at will. And especially in the case of this 0 HP seed, combat is effectively going to be a non-issue outside of bosses and Ganon.
So a shoot room for Almighty. Meanwhile, well, 53 for the candle and some pricey meat there.
53 for the candle is actually not that bad of a price for it. I'm certain the runners would like to see one for free somewhere, but if they can get the money to buy a candle, they will buy the candle.
And we got a candygram.
Crucial to note is that there was no candle option in that heart cave, so the runners will have to buy a candle or hope that they can find the red candle somewhere in order to burn the spots. And if you're in a second quest overworld, you want to not have to spend money if you can help it, because there's so much less of it compared to first quest. And that hint for Dodongo along the river, there are 2 river spots that are ladder blocked naturally. So you may find that you have to get the ladder in order to get into level 2 at all, regardless of the dungeon layout itself.
And there was a hint for Ellendar, who had already seen the white sword item, meet the merchant along the coast. And there's a vanilla power bracelet.
That hint is the magical sword hint, not the white sword hint. The white sword hint will tell you what the item is as well.
Oh, that's right. Okay, they are both along the coast. I think that's what threw me off.
Mm-hmm. I'm a little surprised Ellendar opted not to pick up a bomb pack there, as bombs are easier to get once you have them. It's just getting that first pack is sometimes the tricky part. You know, I look at these taking the red Wizard beam, that is going to be 4 hearts of damage, and we'll just knock Almighty Bobino out in one shot.
Yeah, the temporary one-hit KO.
The particular reason that it is better to have bombs if you're looking for bombs is that one of the mechanics of the game that holds true in Randomizer, holds true in Vanilla, this will always be available, is if you kill 10 enemies in a row without getting hit, and you kill that 10th enemy with a bomb, you are guaranteed to get a bomb drop off of that enemy. If it's an enemy that cannot drop an item, the bomb drop will be stored until you kill the next enemy that can drop an item, regardless of what weapon you kill it with.
We have the boomerang pickup over on Ellendar's side.
The boomerang is a little bit of a controversial item, because there's 2 versions of it. The magical version, which we have not seen yet, that goes all the way across the screen and flies faster. And then the regular version, which both runners have picked up, that does not fly as far or as fast. So you get a block. That is good information for AlmightyBobino to know that now he will not necessarily be looking for Zelda's room in level 9 as it's here in level something.
Possibly 6?
This could be either. I'm a little bit inclined to say it's 8 based on how it looks like you could fit a level perfectly in the negative space of the map. But until we pick the Triforce up, we're going to have no idea.
Yep, when you have random percent, the only thing that's for sure is nothing's for sure.
But we do get a hint for Gleeok returns by a lake. So that could give us a clue when Bobino leaves this dungeon as to what it is. And I'm starting to think that this level that Ellendar's in is not going to be level 5 as we had initially thought, as it's too small.
Yeah, that is rather tiny.
This could be level 1, actually, based on the 8 hint. That is level 1.
Aha.
So, why does level 1 matter? Well, that actually does put into question whether or not we have Heart Shuffle on. Never mind, we've seen the Ghost Heart. We have Heart Shuffle on. Ignore me. But there is going to be an extra floor item in this dungeon available. But I don't believe Bobino saw.
Which is why Ellendar is going back in and trying to cover the rooms not yet covered. Sees that there's a compass there and realizes that not worth checking out and taking on those blue dark nuts.
Sometimes the best way to do the combat in Zelda 1 is to just completely avoid it. We're going to see what's behind this key door. It is A red candle.
A red candle.
Under certain circumstances, the red candle is kind of a item to get, because you'll either already have weaponry, in this case they have the wand and white sword, so that would devalue it, except that is the first candle these runners have seen.
There's the clue for the white sword. I was about 5 minutes ahead of myself, that's all.
I've kind of been trying to pay attention to the enemy sets. If the enemy sets are not shuffled, then the level that AlmightyBobino in will be level 6, based on the fact that it has the wizards in it. If the enemy sets are shuffled, then, well, anyone's guess.
And there's a mid-secret. Picked up earlier by Bobino.
What's good about Ellendar picking up that red candle is now they have the option to say, okay, well, I don't need to spend the money on the candle. I can spend that money on arrows. I can spend it on a bomb upgrade. I can spend it on potions. I can spend it on hints. It helps the money situation out a little bit.
Gambling, however, not so much.
Gambling never works until it does.
Like in the movie War Games, it's a strange game. The only winning move is not to play.
And it sounds like I am being forgetful and forgot that level 1 had the Dark Nut set, so we definitely have shuffled enemy sets. And we can see on Bobino's side the absolute determination. He wants to pull something out of this dungeon of value. He does not want all of this time and effort that he spent in here to come out empty-handed.
The question is, will the dedication lead to a fruitful victory? Is now Ellendar in a level as well here?
These runners are now actually in the same level. Ellendar does have the wand, which between that and the extra Triforce out of level 4 is good. But because the wizards are completely immune to that wand, it will not offer Ellendar an advantage in the wizard rooms.
Oh, and we have the ladder.
I think with that, that already or automatically puts AlmightyBobino's time and effort into digging this dungeon out worth it. Because I don't know if he saw the hint for where Dodongo dwells. He might have, but he probably has a pretty good idea that that ladder is going to be required anyway, because it's rare you get a seed where the ladder is not required. Especially in a seed where you have to get all 8 Triforces.
Oh, that's a fun little room there.
So here's a little potentially interesting factoid about this shoot room that Ellendar is in. Technically, that is counted as a stair room, as you can push the rightmost block of the central column in that room, or the middle block of the leftmost column, my apologies, and you will open a stair on the far right corner of the room. You cannot access it ever, but it's one of those little gotchas that technically speaking, that is not considered a one-way stair room. And that is level 6. Bobino probably breathing a little sigh of relief as he now knows he doesn't have to go and dig more of that dungeon. He's got both of his items and his Triforce he can leave.
So there we go. 3 of the mysteries solved here so far as in terms of which levels are which.
And thankfully, level 9 does not share the question mark level number feature. Level 9 will always be marked as level 9.
Well, you figure the music would be a giveaway too.
Normally, yes.
Again, normally, yes.
Yes. But a couple of things such as shuffle music, or there are some runners that when they're running just on their own, they'll turn the music off and have their own music going. In which case, you just walk into the level and, okay, no music. But the shuffle music option and a lot of the things like the tuna colors, the heart colors, the cosmetics are not, those are player preference. Those are not required to be randomized in any way, shape, or form. Also an option the players have, and both of these runners are using, is the select swap feature. Which, normally when you play The Legend of Zelda, the select button acts as a pause feature, so it just freezes everything, cuts off the music, all that. But in the randomizer, an option has been added to make it where if you press select, you will swap to the next item in the list in your inventory, allowing you to more quickly cycle through your items and not have to go to the subscreen every time.
Saves you from menuing, and that's certainly not a bad thing.
Agreed. Most runners do use that select swap. There's a couple of runners that prefer to have that pause feature, so that when they're in really tough rooms, they can pause for a second and assess what they want to do and how they want to tackle the room. Including a very famous Crystal Saver, who is known for using those pause strats and does not use the select swap himself.
Oh, there's some cheap meat.
That is actually the lowest possible price for the meat, so both runners have bought it, and I agree with both runners' decision to go ahead and grab that, with it being as cheap as it is.
Yes, indeed, Lord of the Sand. Lovely spam, wonderful spam.
You know, pan-fried spam actually does really go good on like just about any sandwich. AlmightyBobino is now going to get his power bracelet. Ellendar now has the knowledge that Zelda will not be in her traditional room.
Ooh, Patra being rude to Ellendar.
Absolutely. And that's one of the peculiarities about the 0 HP enemies is the Patrites that orbit the Patra main body and the small Dig Dogger when you play the recorder. Both are considered normal enemies and will be 0 HP, even though they're also considered bosses.
So Almighty now covering the Death Mountain area, already traversed earlier by Ellendar. Gonna get 10 rupees here.
I am a little bit curious as to when the runners will head to the river area, given that they know level 2 is there.
As we have a ladder pickup for Ellendar.
So both runners now have their ladder. Ellendar should be able to get their Triforce out of this dungeon. And outside of the candle, we will be at a dead even heat. Once Ellendar finishes this level 6. Although, crucially, Bobino is now out of bombs on Death Mountain. He's going to have to hope he gets some bomb drops off of some of these enemies, or he will need to find a shop.
Oh, sniped by the blue Lionel, though.
So there's the half tiles in this game are very consistent in that if you're standing on a half tile, you will probably get hit. The exception being that if the left half of Link's body is being hit by the projectile, ergo you're standing half a tile to the right of the enemy that's firing at you, the enemy's projectile will phase right through, and you will not take damage. Ellendar continuing to search for this magical stair to get over to the... Oh, he's been there. He just needs to get back over there and use a bomb to get through that wall. As Bobino's back in level 4, likely going to go ahead and just finish this one out, get his Triforce, and move on. At least I think the pink dungeon was 4.
I'm trying to recall and having a little trouble doing so.
Yeah, this is 4 based on
4.
the map. Although he will need some bombs.
And Ellendar picking up the Triforce in 6.
Bobino will need to come back with either bombs, or he could try to find a new level.
Mid-secret incoming here for Ellendar. There's 25 more rupees.
And the runners are in, both within striking distance of a bomb upgrade if they find one.
Oh, stop it. Big bucks over on Ellendar's side.
132 rupees for that large secret. That is excellent to see. And that is their only large secret, so seeing that definitely is going to help the money issue. Looks like Ellendar will now make use of that candle and do what is known as Candle Row.
Oh, and Max is out with a 25.
AlmightyBobino has picked up some bombs, so he will be able to continue exploring this level 4 now.
second of 4 heart takes found by Ellendar. And blue ring purchase.
Interesting play to go for the blue ring over... Well, I mean, to be fair, he doesn't really have that much left to buy besides bomb upgrades and arrows. But I almost would have considered an arrow purchase before a blue ring purchase. Now, part of that is I'm biased towards buying arrows, but also just from the standpoint of, for all you know, the silver arrows are double blocked, and then you'll need to go get some more money.
Oh, we have a book for sale.
And Ellendar already has the wand. And this now brings the question in their mind of, is it worth it to grind up the money to get that book and not have to worry about bomb walls?
A forgotten spot with a small secret.
And what the book does when it's in a shop, for those that have never seen that before, is normally when you pick up the book with the wand, it creates a flame effect at the end of your magic shot, which is kind of helpful. You usually just run face first into it and take damage, so most times the runners will avoid it. However, that book in a shop turns it into a bomb explosion, which can open up bomb walls. If aimed correctly, can open up secret spots on the overworld, and overall is an excellent item to pick up if you can afford it.
However, having spent the money on that blue ring, and now, well, here's a bunch of the levels.
Candle will be required in this seed. Ellendar has opted not to dig any of them yet. Perhaps they're looking to get as much information as they can before they start digging some more. I'm not sure if I personally would agree with this decision, just on the grounds that they have quite a bit of things to go ahead and dig dungeons with anyway. It may be more worth it to go ahead and dig the dungeons out to try to get some more exploration items, such as a recorder, or find some key items, such as the bow.
Well, Ellendar is a screen away from a sword upgrade, as we did see the white sword, or actually, nope, yeah, this is the right screen. Now that's a knife.
The white sword item will be anywhere between 4 and 6 hearts, and has a higher than normal chance to spawn at 5, given that it's 50-50 to even be shuffled to begin with. And now with a sword made out of metal, Ellendar can start gambling.
And does.
And we are getting an indication from our tracker, CCX in chat, that we may have deceptive hints on. I predict this level is split. The any keys on the floor in level 4. Ellendar did not pick that up while they were in there. We'll see if that comes into play. They currently are on 7 keys, so they're on a good key amount right now. But if later level or level 9 decides to be very heavily key blocked, that may become an advantage for AlmightyBobino going forward.
And it looks like it wasn't far from the Triforce either. It must have been just a room that Ellendar opted not to clear.
It looked like based on the map, it was south. It was in that very south tip of the northern segment.
Ah.
Again, we'll have to wait and see if that comes into play, because Ellendar is on a healthy key count of 7, so it may not be a factor. And we have a triple segmented dungeon, I think.
That seems to me, it seems to be. That's looks to be the way here.
And according to the old man, no more taxes as he takes your money.
And we have the bow in stereo.
More than likely that's required, just from the sheer standpoint of you can rip through keys with it, Goma may be blocking something, and let's also not forget our old friend, required Ganon. Ooh, that's a tough choice. Ellendar gonna pay the money, setting them back for purchasing the book, but keeps their bomb capacity at 8 instead of it going down to 7. I really want to see a map of this level now with how many stairs there are. The heart container in... Ooh.
Uh-huh.
This is level 8. As evidenced by the 2 stair items.
Wow.
Oh, that is a shape beyond shapes. That is a great shape. So I think if you're Ellendar, you go ahead and get the Triforce, maybe clear the rooms in this segment, but you don't dig that north portion of this level 8 looking for items. As Bobino does buy the arrow.
So I don't know, chat. Name that ink blot. I've got a hunch as to what my guess is.
You know, it looks like a scene from some sort of Atari game.
I'm pretty close to there with you. I was thinking it's Battle Kid and that awful plant in the early beginnings.
I like it.
Red plant, blue plant, purple plant.
Bobino is going to buy the candle here. Not a bad idea given they do not have a candle and we have 2 candle block dungeons. And Ellendar up to a whopping 10 keys. They may not be concerned about the any key at this point. But AlmightyBobino finds a new dungeon. This may be level 2 based on it being near the river. Again, we don't know that for certain because it sounds like we have deceptive hints. But with level 8 complete, Ellendar's now going to go into level orange. And find more wish robes. And an immediate compass. So with the bow found, Ellendar may opt to do the rush to 9 gamble, where you don't look for items in other dungeons. You just go to 9 and pray that you either don't need Ganon or that your silver arrows are in 9.
Well, don't they need all 8 Triforces to get into 9?
That they do. But they do not necessarily need any more items unless there are dungeons blocked behind a recorder spot. As Bobino's in level 7. And also important, even though both runners bought the meat is required to get into this level 7. So we find a small dungeon on Ellendar's side. This could be 2 or 3 based on the size of it. It's going to depend on what floor items are found. Taking a red Wizard beam to the face, not the best idea.
Even with the blue ring.
Mm-hmm. Ellendar is going to opt to dig a little bit further. Not a bad choice, given that this is a small dungeon and you are in a second quest overworld, so Recorder is likely going to be required. Although I don't think... Have we seen all the dungeons?
Taking a look here. I've been trying to keep track as we've gone along. Let's see, this one...
That was level 3.
Was 3.
So I think that leaves just 2?
Yeah, 2 we have not seen yet. Alright, we know that that's 7 where Almighty just left.
And there's level 2. Or 5. I think 5 is the other one we haven't seen. Based on what our tracker in chat is saying.
A lot of question marks here.
I personally find it amazing that we have 2 ladder blocked levels. And not ladder blocked in the dungeon, ladder blocked by being on the river.
Ooh, that is rather cruel. Alright, we got a medium secret in the waterfall.
Ellendar will now find their level 7. We'll see if they decide to go ahead and go for the goodies in here. And at this point, if you're really either runner, but especially Ellendar, the last thing you want to see is a red ring. And it sounds like we have a recorder in level 2. Which does mean we will certainly be able to find our last remaining dungeon, as they have all of the exploration items they could need now, unless we have the very rare raft block.
Which we shouldn't, because early on, one of the hints was sail not to save the princess, but we did say they were deceptive hints, possibly.
Correct. So if that hint is true, then we will not need a raft, but it could very well also be that it's a bunch of garbage. But level 6 was in the Dead Woods. So that is a truthful hint. And both runners having bought the cheap meat when they did turns out to have been the correct play. That's a recorder block out of the rest of this level 7. Almighty will pick up their Triforce out of level 2. Unless this is somehow secretly 5, which it could be. Because you do have Heart Shuffle on. He's going to check, and it is in fact 2. And Ellendar now finding out the same news. They are recorder blocked out of the rest of level 7. They are going to go into 2 as Bobino's going into level 7, so it's kind of a high five as they screen transition. Bobino unable to get the bomb timing, but given that they are 0 HP, just would have made the fight a little bit faster. And I think if you're... Oh, a magic shield on the floor. The reason we have a magic shield on the floor is that would have been the book.
So yes, Boomstick is in play. That is correct.
Bobino's gonna opt to take the staircase. Does get a key for his efforts that he does not need, and has to go back. So the magical shield will afford Bobino the ability to block Wizro projectiles.
125 on the bomb upgrade. I believe that's the max cost, isn't it?
That is indeed the max cost. Which means it's probably +2. Ellendar will get a heart out of level 2 is the second item. And Bobino has decided to go ahead and dig this level 7 for the items. He has not seen level 8 yet, so he is still looking for the bow. And he is also potentially looking for a red candle. Well, not a red candle at this point. But he is looking for a bow, so that's likely what's driving this decision for him to check it. I do expect Ellendar will just grab the Triforce and leave.
And to answer the question in chat, yes, Heart Shuffle is on. That is confirmed.
This is when shapes dungeons become a little bit more interesting, because not only are the shapes weird, but you have a map early enough to appreciate the weirdness of the shape. And here is the stair item in level 7. It is a heart. Ellendar is also going to elect to take the stair. And they are also going to have to go back through, but they will take the key here. Bobino will pick up his Triforce in level 7. So the big difference right now between the two runners is Ellendar, having had the candle earlier, has already gotten their Triforce is out of levels 3 and 8. Bobino has not done that yet. And Ellendar has decided to look for the item here in level 7.
Probably figuring a little extra digging doesn't hurt. And maybe a little bit of rupee farming along the way.
They may also be making the gamble that level 9 will not have the red ring and silver arrows. Ellendar will now find their Stair Heart container here in level 7.
And pass it up.
Can't say I blame them. They have blue ring and 9 hearts. If they're not going to go for magical sword, then it's not worth the time to go down and get it. I'm inclined to think right now that level 5 is going to be in a recorder block location.
Spectacle Rock looks to be solid today.
And Bobino not checking that recorder spot up on Death Mountain. Remember, folks, that we are in a pure second quest overworld, so all of the first quest spots will not open. Ellendar immediately going to go whistle their way through the desert. And finds the letter for his efforts. Bobino looked like he was checking his map to see what is still available that he has not done yet. Whistling himself back to level 2. As it looks like we do have the recorder to the beaten dungeons, but the new locations. Bobino sees the book, is probably disappointed that he can't pick it up, and has to move on.
Just 114 rupees to go.
It's easy enough to get, just go grind levers until you feel like gambling. Still no sign yet of that level 5, and there's not very many items left that we haven't seen. To answer the question in chat, this is a pure second quest overworld, so there will be no first quest spots that open up. Ellendar going to cash in the letter and buy a potion, and I believe that will cement their decision to not pick up the book. So there's a couple of recorder spots we have not yet seen. We have not seen the one near start. We have not seen the one in the Deadwoods. And we have not seen the 2 in the grave, including vanilla level 6.
So a couple of different options as Bobino passes on the bloomerang.
which we now know is in level 3. At this point, you have the regular boomerang. Some players prefer the boomerang, some players prefer the regular one. I say whichever one you find first is the correct one to pick up. Ellendar going to do the Lost Woods maze here. And both runners with the magic shield will have a little bit of a safer time going through these wizard dungeons. Just a candle shop. Bobino picks up their Triforce out of level 3. They are only now 1 Triforce behind, that being the one in level 8, but they need to get the bow out of 8 if Ganon is required. Or there's a required Goma. And still no level 5. I'm now bringing to doubt if the hint we saw earlier about still not to save the princess is truthful, and if the raft is the floor item in level 3, because we have not seen that.
Well, we shall see, as I got a bomb shop here. So 25 there.
Ellendar gonna opt to save. We are an hour in and still missing 1 dungeon. Bobino picking up his 8th heart. And we have not seen this spot yet.
There it is.
The raft is indeed not required, as Bobino finds level 8. And look at the key count on Ellendar's side, a whopping 13 keys.
And to clarify, yes, Ellendar does have the recorder. It was in a room where it was one of those blink and you miss it type things, but Ellendar did pick it up.
I do expect Ellendar is just gonna go for the Triforce and then leave this dungeon. Bobino will find the first transport in level 8.
And now a 14th key.
The highest key count I've ever seen in one of these tournament matches, personally, is 15, and that was actually from a match earlier today. But Ellendar is going to have to spend a couple to keep going in this level 5.
And Almighty given the ransom there.
At this point, if you're not going to go for the book, that makes a lot of sense. And Almighty's found another transport. I believe he's close to where the bow is.
He did pick up the bow.
Okay. I must have missed that then. In which case, Bobino is ready to continue exploring, and there's our inverse of level 6.
And there's the Triforce.
So with all 8 Triforces in hand, Ellendar is now eligible to enter level 9. They're going to be listening for the roar of Ganon and looking for a single shutter door that does not open. If there is a single shutter door room and the shutter does not open after killing all the enemies, they will know Ganon is required and they will have to go find Ganon, and they will know the location of Zelda. If Ganon is not required, they could just randomly walk into Zelda's room at any given time.
Always a pleasant thing to stumble into.
Sometimes an unexpected one. No, I forget where level 9 is.
Level 9 was up on the northeastern end, over, I believe, in square AC, if you're using the tracker.
I believe Ellendar realizes that now and has to go back. 12 keys going into 9 is a healthy amount. So is 8 bombs. I don't think Ellendar will be concerned about the resources going in.
There's one right at the start.
Welcome to Shapes 9, where it's Swiss cheese. Ooh. Ganon not in his original room. We do have Wizards in 9, which, surprise, surprise, they are a separate flag from shuffling everything else, and Kidnapped awaits northeast of Skull. That's a good hint.
You're in the northeast area, so let's see if we can find some place that'll open here. Oh, gotta go back to go forward.
Better press on.
It's like Willy Wonka's factory.
And I like the choice here to take the staircase. It could lead you to the upper portion, or it could lead you back to the beginning. Those are always the staircases you want to see, are the ones where you just go right back to start, and it's like, oh, at least I don't lose my health.
Tea room with Patra, but with the 0 HP, Patra a lot more easy to handle.
So we're hearing in chat that we may have deceptive hints. Where exactly did the hint say 5 was going to be? Because the recorded location that 5 was in is considered near start. Or close to start, rather. Yes, that location is considered to be in the area close to start. So I'm inclined to think we have the helpful hints. I think what Ellendar really wants to see is a way to get to that northeast.
And that bomb count quickly depleting in doing so.
Not a good feeling when you are considering having to leave 9 to go get bombs. Although these guys could drop some. And they do.
Commentator's blessing.
Ellendar, I'm guessing, is going to want to go in this stair in hopes that it'll take him to the northeast. Kind of puts him in the right direction.
Closer, yeah, it's getting there.
Slowly but surely. His bomb count has restocked, which is good. Hi, Date Dogger. It's a quick little bomb refill. AlmightyBobino has found his Triforce in level 8. I believe, based on Ellendar's map position, that room to the north could have been Zelda.
Initially opted to take the stairwell and realized, oh, this is getting me further from where I want to go. Let's head back through that passage.
And finds the turnstile room. Normally, you would have to go to either the left or right in order to get through that, but thanks to the advent of block clipping, you can just walk on through. Note that block clipping and associated things such as screen scrolling and ladder clipping and whatnot will never be required to complete a seed logically. They can help, but there will always be an alternate way around it. Bobino looks to be checking his map, checking his Triforce, making sure he marks which level it is. We find a key on the ground. Ellendar back up to 12 keys. This could be Zelda here. That is a turnstile.
Another turnstile.
But he is in the right area. Up to 14 keys again. He's not able to bomb through that wall.
So there may be a staircase to that far upper right corner.
Looking at his map, he's realized he has not checked another wall on the side. AlmightyBobino found 5 relatively quickly. He is now in there.
Oh, here we go.
A single shutter door. Ganon is going to be required.
Does not open.
So now the hunt for silvers is on. The hunt for Ganon is on. And all of the transports now are an option.
This just made things a little more interesting.
This did open up a window for Bobino to catch up if he is able to find the silvers and Ganon relatively quickly, compared to how long it takes Ellendar to find them. And Ellendar may be wishing they had picked up the book, as they're spending a lot of bombs in this level 9.
And the blue Wizrobes not being generous this time around.
Yeah, the blue Wizrobes, they tend to do that.
Yeah, a little on the rude side.
Everything blue in this game is rude, though. When you think
Blue
about it,
ring?
the blue Lionels... Oh, go ahead.
I was saying the blue ring is, rude?
Yes. The price of it is just... it's overpriced.
Okay, fair enough. Bobino, meanwhile, getting the raft here in 5.
That will not be required. But we have a dig dogger leading to a transport. I don't know how many that is in 9, but we've got to be getting close to running out of transports to take. And the compass. Ellendar spending their last bomb and getting nothing for it. Now they might be in a little bit of trouble.
And additionally, oh, max bombs are money. There goes the money.
And to answer the question in chat, as we apparently have a Ganondorf, Ellendar did not check the 2 upper right rooms of the dungeon. The silver arrows could be up in there. But here's a reverse C. A reverse C does have the silvers in vanilla. What does it hold in today's randomizer?
The silvers!
So the game channeling its inner vanilla, and that is going to close the window of opportunity for AlmightyBobino, as Ellendar has now found the silver arrows. And conveniently enough, Ganon.
There's Ganon.
Okay then. And it's 0 HP Ganon. And Ganon decided to take the strategy of, you know what, I'm just going to hold on to these silver arrows myself, but just drop them in the room before going and locking himself in.
Oh, the bomb upgrade purchase. It looks like you got a little pricey, but it was worth it. 6 on the bomb upgrade for 125. Max price, max upgrade.
And while that is an excellent thing to see for Bobino, it is going to unfortunately be too little too late in this scene. Now Ellendar, they have a path back. They might have been looking for a little bit of a shortcut, but they're just going to walk the long path back to Zelda, as they know that they can go that way. Bobino will get the map in 5. He will get his compass in a little bit here, and he will then be eligible to enter level 9 after he goes a couple more rooms.
There we go. 2 rooms south.
That door will open. And everybody... Oh! well, gonna take a little bit.
There it is.
Everybody please get your GGs in chat for Ellendar, who has finished with an official time of 1:17:12 as AlmightyBobino picks up his final Triforce piece.
A little bit of pause there from Almighty, perhaps seeing the news that Ellendar had finished, but is opting to keep going.
He may also, I'm not sure if he keeps the IRC open, he may have just been checking his map to see where level 9 was, as we did find that quite a while ago.
It could very well be possible, and more likely.
Ellendar will be joining us soon. And Bobino is now starting his level 9 adventure. We'll see if he's able to make a quicker path through this 9 than Ellendar did. Apparently, our recorder theme today was the Light World dungeon from A Link to the Past.
Of course, I had the sound muted, so that made it a little difficult to be able to play Name That Tune.
The AlmightyBobino has not picked up the map yet for level 9, although he is now in Ganon's room. There's the map. And potentially an issue for Bobino coming up will be he does not have the blue ring. So he's going to have to be a little more careful with his health.
Ooh.
Able to deflect a couple of the blue whiz rope shots. Unfortunately, he's not going to find anything useful down in this south portion of 9. We know he needs to make his way over to the west to kill Ganon so he can go to the east to save Zelda.
With a little preliminary stop to pick up the silver arrows.
Bobino gonna opt not to take the transport stair and instead keep going. This may prove to help him out quite a bit. He will check these walls with the free bombs on the floor. Cannot open any of them, and the block does not push. You come to this room down here, which I don't believe had anything.
I think Ellendar just noped out of it.
And the main handler gonna be manhandling Bobino.
Oh, and Almighty putting in a forfeit.
It sounds like we will not have Bobino joining us as his mic is currently out of commission.
It doesn't look like we'll be hearing from either runner. Tech issues and a microphone. Microphone being out of service, but do see the note in here. Almighty wants to thank everyone, and I'll be happy to see everyone again soon. And is looking forward to Game 2 to potentially even this at 1 apiece in this best of 3.
And AlmightyBobino will have the option of picking a loser's remorse flag, which will take one of the flags that is currently set at 50-50, and he may choose to turn that to 100% on, 100% off. And there are a couple of drop-down menus that he does have the option to change, such as the enemy HP. So please do give both of these runners a follow, as they gave us a wonderful race, Ellendar and AlmightyBobino. Please also give our tracker and working to make sure that we know what's what, CCX a follow, as well as my commentary partner, Farron Burgundy. I think I pronounced that right.
Close enough. Ferran Burgundy.
Farron Burgundy. Sorry about that.
It's okay. If it happens at least once to everybody.
As well as our restreamer, Lord of the Synth, and the Randomania family of channels for hosting us tonight.
Alrighty, with that, I believe, and I'll turn to our restreamer for. Well, we've got Almighty in the chat, so looks like we're going to have a text to voice interview. Gotta love those.
Always a good thing to see the runners at least come in if they can. So this was a seed. You can see the schedule we have going on. Actually, currently ongoing is Eat My Steel versus Fred Coughlin. That back-to-back doubleheader has. And it sounds like we now do have Ellendar with us.
GG. Also GG Discord.
GG Discord.
A statement that can always be said accurately. So the big thing that led to the difference between you and Bobino was you had chosen to dig the red candle out of level 1, and that got you into levels 3 and 8 earlier.
Yeah, I had found the Kindle shop already because I did early Death Mountain, but I just didn't have enough rupees for it. But if you didn't do early Death Mountain and you didn't dig that candle, like it was going to be a long time before you found a candle.
Yeah, that the candle really was the big difference. As again, you had the bow under the candle spot, which turned out, oh, by the way, it's required to fight Ganon, and oh, by the way, the Silvers are right next to him too. So yeah, just go to the opposite side of 9, and good luck, kind of thing.
Yeah, I was running out of 9 to check, so I was glad the Silvers were right there because I think the only place I had left was like top central, and I still didn't find the red ring either. But I think if I lost that race, what I thought the thing that hurt me the most was second quest overworld, so I can only make one really big purchase, and then buying the blue ring 2 screens away from the boomstick shop. As soon as I saw that book, I was like, ugh.
Yeah, that was a little bit of just a bit of unfortunate routing that the bookshop happened to be right there, and it hadn't been seen at that point, so there was no way to know it was going to be a boomstick seed, as the magic shield was buried behind the recorder, technically.
Yeah, I had 2 or 3 occasions where I got lucky with bombs, or it would have been like right before Ganon even. I hit down to 0 bombs and got lucky and had a drop on the way in. Though 9's not awful for getting drops, especially with 1 HP or 0 HP enemy.
For what it's worth, the bomb upgrade was +6.
That would have been nice. It's hard. It's hard to buy anything on Second Quest Overworld.
So I will ask, do you guys have your game 2 scheduled yet?
We do not.
Well, that will definitely be something to look forward to when that does get scheduled. As you guys put on a great race tonight, just came down to the one item, really. This is where I will turn it over to Burgundy if he has anything he'd like to ask and/or comment.
No, I think we pretty much touched up on everything here. It was certainly an interesting race. It was fun to see how even things were, and then once that red candle and the blue ring purchase certainly didn't hurt as well. Being able to handle the damage done by those whiz robes, those were the two big factors here, and I'm curious to see how things are going to switch up for game 2. But I believe that's going to take care of everything here. We're going to send things on over to Randomania, the main channel, as we have another fantastic race coming your way. As it looks like it started about a half hour ago, so we'll be able to get a good amount of it. Chess Jerk and LOZ Cards Fan 23 are going to be on the call for that one, and that is between Eat My Steel and F. Coughlin.
So with that, on behalf of my co-com Burgundy, on behalf of our tracker CCX, on behalf of our restreamer Lord of the Synth, on behalf of our 2 runners, and on behalf of the Randomania channels, this has been Alsoa, and we'll see you guys over on the next race.